Hey guys, it's your girl Fuzz and welcome back to another Stardew Valley video. Today we'll be talking about the journal scraps that can be found all over Ginger Island, very similar to the secret notes that I did last week, so let's get into it. Before we start, I want to say thank you to everyone that participated in the poll on the weekend. I'm very surprised to see 61% of you disliking Pierre, but very understandable. I also want to thank 100 Flowers from my stream for suggesting this week's video. So to start off, journal scraps can be found all over Ginger Island. There's only a few of them, so I'll be talking about what they mean and what we can do with them. Our first note that we can find is journal scrap day 1, and it says, "My ship is lost, shattered by a tempest in the unforgiven sea. I find myself stranded now on these strange shores. My crew has perished, but I still live. Perhaps Lady Luck has blessed these wicked bones of mine, or has her own designs from my fate. At any rate, I've no choice but to make a life for myself here. There's fresh water in abundance, food to forage, and fertile soil to work. First, I'll build a shelter." And in brackets, there are some pages missing. This page reveals that once there was a gentleman who crashed onto the beaches of Ginger Island. This is evident on the beach on the west side of Ginger Island with the crashed ship. He once lived here, scavenged for food, and built shelter. But there is nothing else that we can gather from this note. Journal scrap number 2 reveals day 6 of the same adventure, and it says, "I won't go hungry here. The waters are full of edible, nay, delicious fish. I even caught a stingray in the caves on the southeast shore. I haven't a clue what to do with it though. The other day, I even fished a couple of golden walnuts. They seem to be all over the island. The local parrots go crazy for them." Note 2 reveals 2 things. One, that there are some new fishes to discover on the island, including being able to find stingrays on the southeast side of the island. This area is unlocked when 20 golden walnuts are used for an island resort. This cave has very standard fishes, but stingrays are the catch you want. They can either be displayed in a fish tank or placed in a pond to produce items such as cinder shard, dragon tooth, or even a battery pack. And number 2, the parrots that roam around the island love golden walnuts. This is evident when unlocking parts of the island. Handing them a golden walnut will excite them, making them unlock more areas of the island. There are 11 areas to unlock and 160 walnuts that are needed to unlock them all. Journal scrap 3 reveals day 14 of the same adventure, and it says, "After half a month on this island, I've learned a thing or two about finding these golden walnuts. One must keep their eyes peeled for subtle clues. If something looks unusual, there may be a hidden nut nearby. I've noticed signs in the sand, signs in the leaves. I even saw a nut up in the tree near the volcano. If only I had a way of shooting it down. Whenever I spotted a nut tree, I've always found a way to reach it." This note not only reveals that golden walnuts can be found on the island, but a walnut is stuck in the tree and the character will have to shoot it down. Using a slingshot at the tree next to the volcano will reveal another golden walnut. Journal scrap number 4 will show a map with an X that marks the spot. Just like the secret notes that I mentioned in my previous video on what the secret notes are, you must find this area to dig up the treasure. Head to the far east side of the island, to this spot above Birdie's little hut. Using your hoe here, we'll dig up a golden walnut and a quality bobber. These items can only be found after reading the note, and you can only find 1 golden walnut here and 1 quality bobber. This tackle can only be placed on an iridium rod, which increases the quality of a fish caught by 1 level. A recipe for this tackle can be achieved when the special order Juicy Bugs Wanted is completed for Willy. Journal scrap 5 reveals day 23 of the same adventure, and it says, "The local volcano holds many secrets. I've seen some little men with glowing eyes skittering about in the dark, like cats in the night. Could these be the fabled dwarf men mentioned by M. Jasper in his famous journeys? Strange machines too. Uncanny. Not like anything known to man. At the top, I found a passage to the caldera of the volcano. And half submerged in the bubbling lava, a peculiar machine, a kind of forge. I'll investigate this further tomorrow. The forge reference here can be found on floor 10 of the volcano and can be used to enhance your tools. Further journal scraps mention the powers the forge can provide. The mention of M. Jasper is quite interesting to me. There is only one lost book that references the dwarves by M. Jasper. He says that they possess advanced technology from an advanced civilization much more superior than humankind. It would make sense that they created this forge and placed it in such a strange place, but Jasper had proposed in his lost book that they lived down underground due to the atmosphere of their planet being thicker to protect them from stellar radiation and from our sunlight. Maybe there's something more that we can find out about them. Or not, I'm not quite a scientist. If you are liking the video, why not consider liking? If you want to see more Stardew Valley videos, why not consider subscribing? And why not turn on the bell to get yourself notified? Journal 6 is another X marks the spot map. This space that's reflected in the map is the bench area on the west side of Ginger Island, south of the island farmhouse. Use your hoe here in this little corner to be rewarded with a golden walnut and a pearl. This can only be found after reading the note. Journal Scrap 7 has a lot of information about the use of the forge and the upgrades it can provide. A weapon of your choice can be upgraded 3 times with the below gems. Using a topaz on a weapon increases your defense, 1 by the amount of levels, so 1 defense, 2 defense, and 3 defense. Using an emerald increases the weapon speed, 2 on the 1st and 3rd level, and 3 on the 2nd level. Using a jade increases the critical hit damage of that weapon, 10% by the amount of levels, so 10%, 20%, and 30%. Using an aquamarine increases the critical hit chance, 4.6% by the amount of levels, so 4.6%, 9.2%, and 13.8%. Using an amethyst adds more knockback to that weapon, adding 10 weight per level. Using a ruby increases the damage of that weapon, 10% by the amount of levels, and this affects both the minimum and maximum damage output, so 10%, 20%, and 30% to the minimum and maximum amount of damage of that weapon. And using a prismatic shard enchants the weapon, and the enchantments will be mentioned in the next journal scrap. Just a little note that your tools can be enchanted and not forged with the previous details just mentioned. Journal Scrap 8 has a lot of information about weapon and tool enchantments. So let's start with Artful, which adds a 50% cooldown on special moves. This refers to the secondary move on your weapon, so for PC, this will be your right click. Bug Killer allows double damage on grubs, flies, bugs, spiders which can be found in the harder mines which are unlocked by the walnut door on Ginger Island. Rock crabs and armor bugs can now be killed in the Skull Cave. Vampiric allows a 9% chance to regain some health on a kill. The amount returned to you is roughly 10% on the monster's maximum health. Crusader adds a 50% damage increase to mummies, ghosts, skeletons, and void spirits. It also prevents mummies from reviving, so this is a great upgrade if you love going into the Skull Cave. Haymaker allows the weapon to get you 50% more fiber from cutting weeds and a 33% chance for extra hay. The tool enchantments are amazing. Instead of explaining these each and which of these affect which tools, I have added up a screen clip from the Stardew Valley wiki. I will show this on screen and will link this in the description for you to download to view at your own time. Journal Scrap 9 is just a note that says, "'Twas a rain-drenched day, and upon a lonely rock a beautiful maiden saw I. Tales I'd heard of sea-born maidens singing siren songs, yet nary a note could she muster. The next morning I spied an arrangement of stone upon the foamy bank. Aye, stones as big as pennies and stones as big as nickels were they. If but this harried sea dog a tune could howl, perhaps to Black Gull's treasure would she lead." Oh, that really hurt my brain to read. This is a reference to the mermaid that can be found on the shore on the east side of the island. After unlocking the island resort, head to the east side where a mermaid is laying on top of a rock. You'll need 5 loot blocks for this to work. 1 is given to you as a reward for donating items to the museum. Then you'll need to get 6 hearts with Robin. Ew! To get the recipe to make more flute blocks. The placement of the flute blocks needs to correspond to the floor patterns found on the ground. A single rock is 1 note and the larger block are 5 notes. So the pattern is 2, 11, 9, 5, and 7. For PC, once the block is placed on the ground, right-click the flute block to change the note. If the mermaid is happy with your tune, she'll reward you with 5 golden walnuts. Journal Scrap 10 reveals another X marks the spot. This is located in front of the volcano, under the tree to the left. Digging this spot up rewards you with a golden walnut and an ostrich egg. This is one way to obtain yourself an ostrich. An ostrich egg also has a random drop from chests in the volcano. An ostrich incubator is needed to incubate this ostrich. The ostrich incubator recipe is given to you by Professor Snail once you've completed the fossil collection and the 2 surveys on the wall. Once you've been able to craft an ostrich incubator, be sure that you have 1 free space in your barn. And in 9.5 days, an ostrich will be born. Ostriches take 7 days to mature and will produce an ostrich egg every 7 days. You can either sell the egg, incubate it again, or place it in a mayonnaise machine to produce 10 mayonnaise of the same quality of the egg. And finally, journal scrap 11 shows day 37 of our adventure, and it says, "When I was a boy of 10-year-old, my father gave me a glow ring and a magnet ring. They've never left my fingers since. However, when I was standing on top of the volcano, a strange idea came over me. I took my 2 rings and cast them into the forge. Lo and behold, they combined into one. Now I've got 1 glowing magnet ring. I hope old Pappy doesn't mind, rest his soul." If you have a glow ring and a magnet ring, you can combine them 2 at the forge for 20 cinder shards to make a combined ring that both emits a light around the character and increases your radius to collect more items. You can actually combine any 2 different rings into one with stacked effects, and it'll cost you 20 cinder shards, so have some fun combining your rings. I wanted there to be more of a story with this adventurer. I was really curious to get to know him, but after talking to Bindi, the older lady found on the west side of Ginger Island, we come to find that she's come to this island to find him, only to find his remains left. It is a sad love story, but completing Bindi's mission brings her some comfort, and that's all that matters. Ginger Island has been a great addition to Stardew Valley, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Got a question about the video, or you want to see a different Stardew Valley video? Why not consider leaving a comment and you'll see a comment from me. As always, you can catch me live on twitch.tv/Fuzzarena. I love your faces, you take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time guys. Take care.